watching the movie Dawgs. We bark about the movies and nothing but the movies. Welcome to the Dawghouse.
Your host, Joshua Church.
Hey everybody, so we're getting close to the end of Halloween spooky season. We are wrapping up all of our spooky Halloween, recordings and musings and redhead stepchildren and all that of Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun for everyone. But this time we have something special, a little different than usual. So my friend Billy, whose channel this is, sent me a, review link, to an independent horror film, Unearthed. It's an anthology story with 4 different stories in it. So an anthology film, very much, in the vein of Creepshow, with multiple stories. Now, I just want to be 100% honest here. I'm gonna try to give it my 100% real, review. We're definitely not shills. We're not paid to give reviews, and we owe nobody anything, to give a plus or a minus or anything. But I'm also going to be very fair because, movies are very hard to make. Movies are hard. They're not easy. It's not easy to throw together, enough actors and get the production values good, get your cinematographer, get your lighting, get your effects, get everything squared away. Movies are difficult to make. And usually whenever it's your movie and you've come up with most of all the stuff or, whatever, when it's yours, it's hard to edit a film, to get it down. You have no corporation hanging over you. You got no, studio execs to snort a line of coke and then look at you and go, what if it had more kills? What if it had this? So you don't have to worry about that. And so sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes it means you don't have to interfere, so the story can be pure and it can be on message. It can be not a complete mess. It won't get screwed over like David Ayer's Suicide Squad or anything like that. It's not getting hacked. But it also means that sometimes people can get a little too special about, well, that's my baby and I don't want to chop it up, and so you end up with a lot of stuff left in the movie that probably shouldn't be in the movie. So that's the other thing. Okay, I've seen a ton of fan films. So, I've had buddies of mine that made like Nightmare on Elm Street fan films. Confession of Fred Krueger is one of the ones I really love. By Nathan Milner. That one's really good. You have Never, Hike Alone and all these kind of, cool horror films. Now, granted, there's been a lot of bad Michael Myers ones, but there's been a couple. But granted, so I've seen a lot. And so I sat down with this one and I said, I'm going to be fair and I'm going to be open. I'm just going to pay attention and see what I like and don't like. And no disrespect to the filmmakers, but I did not really like this movie. I didn't enjoy it. It didn't do anything for me. Doesn't mean the movie's bad. Just wasn't for me. Because as I watched it, I struggled with it. Like as I got through the first two stories, all right, and then as we got towards the third and fourth, I gotta say I kind of checked out a bit. But just because, like, the number one issue that I saw across all the stories was editing. Just scenes that drug on for far too long, shots that should have been shortened, scenes where people were walking and were staring at their feet and you could see their feet moving and every step was there. Text that where every single letter was typed out and it wasn't just quick look at the text and read it and then move on. Like stuff that a smart editor would have said, let's sharpen this down. You're losing the plot. Like the first story was, dealing with a girl who got kidnapped and the police were trying to get her, and they spent a lot of time on the police and their hunt and the evidence. And you could have done some cool, quick cuts. You could have done some scenes where like they're breaking down evidence and being very passionate about it and going through piece by piece and quickly getting information to you, or finding other ways to get the information to you that's not dialogue dumping. You know what I mean? And even when it was revealed, the end game of the story and everything, it was just it plodded along and it just didn't feel like it gave you a satisfying, culmination of everything. And just the way it came off, it felt very, all right, dialogue dump, another scene, dialogue dump. And granted, not a fault of the, directors or... Because this, like I said, is a very hard thing to do. It's not easy. And horror films are like magic. It's trying to catch lightning in a bottle and trying to make it work. And it's like you can take the same movie and edit it differently or add different music and it's bad. It needs all the elements to work. And for me, a lot of the elements in each of these stories didn't work. And a bunch of them were, quick, and set in one room or in one building. Not very many sets, really. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to go, okay, we can't afford to have a lot of locations, we're going to focus on this one location, then it's got to be great lighting or really great setup or quick editing or nice shots or very convincing acting. I know that was happening. And I mean, granted, the story might have been better on paper. And it there was definitely points of the stories that worked. There was an alien story that had some cool stuff. There was the possession story that was kind of fun at different points. And, and then the schizo woman one in the end had some stuff that could have been interesting had it been done a little different. So sometimes on the page, getting it translate to film is a very difficult job. And so I do not say this lightly to give them any sort of crap because they're trying their best and it's not a dig on them. This is a learning moment, I think. And because even somebody like Sam Raimi, his first try for Evil Dead was really good, but Evil Dead 2, it crescendoed and got like so much better. Pacing was so much better. The shots were so much better. It just worked. And another piece that bothered me was like some of the unnecessary green screen stuff and AI, like CG effects and stuff. And whether it was AI or CG, either way, just didn't match with the stuff that you see with your eyes, like the film. Which is why, like, if I was doing that, I probably would have used like creature makeup and different lighting to make it feel tangible, so that it doesn't feel separate. I don't know, but it's tricky, and for me, it just didn't work. I again, lots of respect to them. They did something I've never done, which is to make a full length film. I never did that. So they got one on me. I'm too much of a perfectionist. I never would have actually finished to actually get it done. So I can't be too much of a critic on them and say it's their fault or anything. Still, maybe their next film will be even better, and maybe it's a budgeting thing. But if I had to give any solid advice, it would just be really trying to craft your shots and really trying to get your editing down to a tight level, to where it's just a sharp film that you've cut stuff, you've killed the babies, so to speak, to get rid of some of the stuff that you didn't need just because it made for a better film. And maybe they get there. But for me, Unearthed, I can't give it my stamp of approval. Maybe Billy felt differently. Don't let me be the one to dissuade you if you ever wanted to check it out once they actually do make it fully available. But for me, can't really, say I loved it. And that's just me being honest. So, yeah. But Unearthed. So, anywho, I hope you guys have a great Halloween. I will probably see if I can drop one more redheaded stepchild of Halloween or a cool spooky treat before this thing is done. But otherwise, we'll see you later. Move towards the other holidays, and maybe we'll do some cool stuff for Christmas. So see you then. Keep it spooky. Have fun, enjoy Halloween, and we'll see you soon. Hey, like and subscribe. Be sure to check out more of the content on the Movie Dawgs channel. All the reviews and cool remarks and cool guests like me, Josh Church, the owner of River Monster Comics. We are in Denellen, Florida, so if you're ever in the area, come by and check out the shop. Get some cool nerd stuff, comics, pops, toys, whatever. And swing by and just have some cool conversations about movies and all things pop culture. We appreciate you. See you soon.